Yeah, what's going on? Welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers. Haha. What a week, man. What a week. I'm Howie sitting here in Saratoga, New York, about 200 feet from the horse stalls. I'm going to see a horse. We call them ponies in about 15, 20 minutes. Actually, when I'm done with this, see if that baby has a chance of winning tomorrow, running a Saturday. I hope it does. And if it does, I'm going to let you know about it. Look, if you tuned in yesterday or you were here last week, you saw what we did, man. Last week we had Georgia Tech plus 11.5 points. We took the money line, bank plus 340. Last night was a solid night. If you listened yesterday, you saw what we went in on. We had North Carolina last night, money line. They won by 2. In Minnesota. Start off 1-0. I think they probably win their next 5 in a row. UNC looks solid. You can't go against Mac Brown, man. That's what we do here. We study coaching patterns. We study matchups. We study ACC versus Big Ten. That was a good, solid win last night. North Carolina's defense looked good. If you listened yesterday, what did we say? We said they turned up their defense from last year. That's why they covered that spread. The big game last night, everybody and their mother was watching. Deion Sanders in Colorado played North Dakota State, a 1AA team. Look, what did we like? We liked North Dakota State to cover that 9.5. They should have won the game. If you saw that game, that quarterback just ran all over, passed all over Colorado's defense. They're going to have problems this year. They covered that line by 5 points last night. We banked that game. You got to watch Colorado the rest of the year. They'll win a few games, but I think it's going to be a repeat of last year. The schedule's too tough. They're going to get spanked some games. That defense does not look good. Of course, if you listened to the pod yesterday, what did you hear? You heard that my game of the day, the game I loved, University of Central Florida. I think they have a legit shot to win the Big 12. Jefferson, we talked about it yesterday, the transfer coming in from Arkansas. He's a monster, 6'3", 240. They only beat New Hampshire by 54 points. We called it here. I thought that would be a blowout. Underdogs covered nicely the first week, 4-0. It's not like that every weekend. You have to take individual matchups, individual games. Central Florida was playing at home. UNH is a middle to lower 1AA college. They're in trouble this year. They're going to lose a lot probably to teams in the Northeast. They had to go out of Central Florida, and that got ugly, and it got ugly quickly. The other game that I loved last night, and I said it on the pod yesterday, I think Toledo's covered the last 7 opening games they've played. They played 1AA, University of New Hampshire. What'd they win by? 50. They won by 39 points. Line was 27.5. We had them. Duquesne actually played tough in the first half. They did. They played tough in the first half. I just fixed my hair because I had a haircut. I don't know what happened. It grew last night. My hair grew like a foot last night. I got nervous. It just grows. Toledo looks solid. I got a good team. I mean, that MAC's good every year. The MAC, when they play teams out of conference, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, they play good. They play tough. They play good defense. These are just, blue-collar kids in the MAC. Maybe they didn't get a scholarship to Ohio State, Michigan. So they got a little chip on their back, They may juice a little bit more, hit the weight room a little bit more. But Toledo came in. They just took care of business last night, especially in the second half. They covered that 27.5 easily. And let's get into the final game last night to cover the tease that we drilled. We had a 3-game tease. If you listened yesterday, Whiskey Throttle, what's up, brother? Yesterday, Utah played Southern Utah. We talked about it yesterday. Southern Utah was a team, and I'm going to see them this year when they play down at West Georgia. I'm going to go to that game. But Southern Utah was a team last year that lost a ton off of their squad. Utah's rebuilding a little bit, brought in a quarterback. He looked good last night. The defense looked great. They put a beat down on Southern Utah. The line was 39.5. I said they would probably cover that fairly easily. They won by 49. Looking at this thing, guys, I shouldn't have teased it. I should have bet a 3-game parlay. But you can't complain when you're cashing. When you're cashing games in college football, you can't complain. But it was a good night, man. It was a good, solid night. We had North Carolina, North Dakota State, University of Central Florida, Toledo, Utah. Bang. There's 5 right in a row last night. Last week we had Georgia Tech, money line, plus 340. Look, you need to join this thing. Go to Whop, Degenerate Gamblers on a Whop. We have an unbelievable Discord that we're starting there. It's $24.99 a month. You know, you listen to me, you listen to everybody's input. I like it because you got guys in different states that have different takes on games. We're really going to get into that tomorrow because college football is a regional thing. You'll see a weird line in a weird little town, and then you call someone from that town, you tell they know if that squad had a good practice or not because everybody talks. There's so much that goes on into college football as far as inside information. It's got to be the sport, besides college basketball, where inside information prevails. It really does. With that being said, let's get into tonight. Tonight, you have some interesting matchups. Again, it's a light slate. Let's start with Lehigh playing Army. You got a 1AA squad playing Army, which just joined a new conference. And what I'm hearing about Army, they're back to the triple option, man. Remember they took the year off last year? That wasn't good. They went down to LSU. That was the worst beating Army's taken in decades. But they're back to the triple option. Jeff Monken's got them playing. Tonight they open up with Lehigh. Here's what I see in this game. The line's 33. That's high. That's high because Army's going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. Is it going to be over 33? Probably. Lehigh will have a tough time scoring. But I don't love the game. I'm not touching it. I'm going to sit back and watch. I'm going to watch Army's offense, see how good they are. I've heard good things about them. I think that's going to be a good team to make money on this fall. I really do. But I'm not touching the game. I'm going to watch it. We'll learn something tonight. Here's another one. Oklahoma playing home against Temple. The line's 42. Oklahoma could be up 40-0 at the half. Of course, again, I'm not touching this game. I'm going to watch because Temple's got a lot of new players, new staff. They did not play great defense last year like they were supposed to. They have to go into Oklahoma. It's the first game. I just don't have a good feeling about this. I want to see these teams play. I'm not touching it. So you're like, Howie, so what the hell? You're just going to sit back and just talk about these games? No. Let's go to the next game. This is a game I like. You got Florida Atlantic, FAU went to the Final Four in hoops 2 years ago. And they're going to Michigan State. You know this problems Michigan State had last year, and that was just keeping their kids out of jail. But they couldn't beat anybody. They brought in a whole new staff, new coaching staff, new players. I'm sure they're working out kinks, but they're definitely going to improve. Florida Atlantic, now listen, they lost, I want to say, 6, 7, maybe 8 games last year. But if you watch Florida Atlantic, and I bet them often, they covered a shitload of the time, man, because they lost a lot of games by 7, 8 points. They bring back their whole squad, their whole team, add a few extra guys to this team, and I think they're going to improve. The line opened at 14. It's down to 13. I like Florida Atlantic. I really do. They actually have a chance to win this game. That may sound crazy, but they do. They have a chance to win this game. Michigan State is a whole new squad, whole new team. I do think they're going to have a decent crowd here tonight. And I think they probably should pull this game out. But you can take Florida Atlantic and sprinkle the money line at plus 390, plus 400. This is kind of like a Georgia Tech deal last week. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to take Florida Atlantic. I'm looking right now. The line's up to 13.5, just popped up half point, which I like. But I'm going to take Florida Atlantic plus 13.5 points. I think it will be a very good game. The next game, this is another game that I like. You have Stanford playing at home. Stanford playing at home. It doesn't matter. They're not the Pac-12. We know that. It doesn't matter what the hell league they're in. They have the exact same squad they have last year. Coach's second, I believe it's his second year. They add a couple new guys on defense to solidify that. They are going to improve this year. They're an 8.5-point underdog at home tonight at 10:30 p.m. I'm taking the money line at plus 260. I'm taking Stanford plus 8.5. This is my favorite game of the night. I love Stanford over TCU tonight. You might say, TCU's in a better league. Look, leagues don't matter anymore. Conferences are done. If you're not in the SEC, forget about it because all these other conferences are garbage. They make no sense. You got, West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast to play. Who the hell knows when they're flying out? Monday, Tuesday, spending a week. Look, college football has become a minor league to the NFL. It is what it is. I don't care. I'm just looking at how we can benefit. What helps us. And I think Stanford's whole squad coming back, them playing at home tonight under the lights, they're going to be juiced up. They're not going to turn the ball over. TCU has a lot of new guys. They lost a ton off of their offensive line last year. I like Stanford at plus 260. If you don't want to take that, take the 8.5 points at home. The over-under is 59.5 here, which I think is kind of high. I'm not touching it. I'm just sticking with Stanford. I'll take the money line. I'll take the plus 8.5, and I'll be happy with that. But that's really it for tonight, man. You have those 4 games that I'm looking at. I'm going to sit back and watch Lehigh Army. I'm going to watch Oklahoma Temple. I'm taking Florida Atlantic, plus 13.5. I'm taking Stanford on the money line, plus 8.5 at home. Tomorrow we have an insane day. I'm going to be on here tomorrow at around 10:30. If you want to hear what's going on, because there's a ton of games tomorrow. We're kicking off with Clemson at Georgia in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta. My nephew's going to be there. He thinks that Georgia's going to stop him. I have a different feeling because that line has changed immensely over the past 2 days. Something's going on in that game. I'm going to find out tonight. I'll be here tomorrow at 10:30 talking about that game and many others. There's a ton of amazing games tomorrow. You got UConn, Maryland, Virginia Tech, Vandy, South Dakota State, Oklahoma State. That's another interesting one right there. Colorado State, Texas. And the one I can't wait. I love it. Miami, Florida. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. There's a lot of good games tomorrow. It could be very interesting. I'm going to leave you with this. There's 2 baseball games I like tonight. You got the Yankees and the Orioles just bang, trying to get in first place. The Yankees are at home against the Cardinals. I think they win tonight. The Orioles are in Colorado playing the Rockies. They better win. But if you take those 2 teams and you take the money lines on them, you get plus 161. The Yankees win. The Orioles win. You're plus 161. I'm going to put a little on that bad boy tonight. I like it. I like it a lot. But tomorrow, I have a guest on. We're coming on around 10:30, and we're going to get crazy tomorrow because tomorrow's a huge day. We're going to talk a little NFL. I'm going to give you a horse tomorrow. I'm going to give you a horse. This is the Degenerate Gamblers, man. We bet on everything. I bet the over-under if it's going to rain today. I think I'm taking the over. I think we're going to get some showers around 2 o'clock. I put 50 on it with a buddy of mine. But that's what we do here. We're covering horse racing, baseball, basketball, football, tennis, golf, frisbee, darts. Yeah, we're going to hit it all on here. We're going to get nutty. It's going to be an awesome time. Going to have some great guests. Tomorrow, I will be on here at 10:30 with a good buddy of mine talking about the whole day ahead. Go to Whop. Go to WHOP.com. Look at Degenerate Gamblers. Join the Discord. I didn't say that. We got a Discord. We got a Discord that's going to be insane. I'm going to have a lot of people on there just tossing bits and pieces of information on every sport that you can bet on. And it's crazy here in America. 20 years ago, I had buddies of mine that would do a week or so in jail for being a bookie in their town. And now it's legal. It's insane. Shout out to all those guys that got busted for weed back in the 80s. It's legal. It's a different world, people. But you know what? You got to cash. So let's go. Stanford, Florida State. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, man. Bookies and weed, baby. Bookies and weed. Zoltan, what's up? We're rocking. Shout out to Zoltan, who probably made the best logo. I've showed that logo to everybody, and Tripoli loves it. Tripoli loves the logo. He said, damn. I said, Zoltan did it. Zoltan's a fucking savant when it comes to that shit. Anyways, guys, it's going to be a big day tomorrow, big day tonight. I'm looking forward to this. I'm pumped up. Let's go. I got to say, on cash days, we say, let's bank. On here, I'm going to say, let's cash. Let's cash, baby. Peace.